Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Bajan. Behind me, I have my 2018 Ram 2500. In this video, I bought a $146 AliExpress head unit, which sounds like a joke, but I'm telling you, this thing works really well. I was able to retain my OEM steering wheel controls as well as my OEM backup camera with a couple modifications. In this video, I'm going to show you the head unit, break down the install, tell you everything you need to know in terms of firmware updates and settings, and you should be ready to rock in case you want to order this head unit for yourself. As always, the links are in the description for all the tools that I use as well as the parts. And if you enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Let's jump straight into it. Jumping into the truck, this is the head unit that we're talking about. I paid $146 from this from AliExpress. It does have a screen protector on it now, which I'll go over later why I decided to do that. But in the box, you'll receive all the wiring. You'll receive this little trim panel piece, which goes all the way around. Then you're going to get the head unit itself with some brackets to mount it. Make sure you use the brackets and screw it in to this framing, so that way your head unit can't come out, especially when you're off-roading and going through whoops. Note, on the accessory on position, the head unit does not turn on. When we hit the run position, it'll instantly fire up, and it's super fast just like that. CarLink 2.0 is what Apple CarPlay runs off of. So if you leave your car and you turn it off with Apple CarPlay hooked up, the first thing when you turn it on, Apple CarPlay will wirelessly connect to your phone and it'll just be there. So by the time my truck is turned on and it's warming up, Apple CarPlay is already hooked up. All right, guys, this is the head unit that we're going to be talking about. This is the second model. It's the 2 GB, 32 gigabytes of storage, or 64, I don't know, but it's a C1 or something model, $146. This is the head unit that I have. I'm gonna do this all in one take. We're gonna talk about the first things that you need to do to get this thing working. First thing is going in the car settings. We're gonna go to factory. We're gonna hit 3368. That is our PIN code. Hit confirm. We'll go to our original car agreement. All the way at the bottom is CAN box upgrade. In the description of this video, there is going to be a link to a Google Doc or Dropbox or whatever it is, and it's going to have a firmware update and a set of instructions. Follow the set of instructions to do a CAN box upgrade through the USB data cable plugged into the head unit. The reason for this is because it will stop the reverse beep that originally comes with the firmware. The first thing that you want to do is just upgrade it. All you have to do is take the file, put it on a USB drive, plug it in to this data cable. You'll hit this, you'll hit confirm, you'll select USB 1.0 or whatever your USB name is. You'll hit the file, then you'll hit upload. It's going to upload the file all the way to 100%. It'll tell you to restart the system. You'll go to restart it, which is that button right there. It'll not restart probably because it'll just stay on no matter what you do if you take your key out. Go disconnect your battery, and then it should finally power down. You'll reconnect the battery, turn the car back on, then you'll restart the head unit manually and it'll work that time. After you've done the CAN box upgrade, which is the first thing you need to do, you need to come and hit car model and select these settings. You're going to have High World, Jeep, Chrysler 2003 Daisy-Along. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but this will get your volume buttons working if you have steering wheel controls, as well as your OEM next track and previous track. You'll notice though, next track and previous track will be flipped. So the top will be previous track, the bottom will be next track. To fix that, again, we're going to come here, hit car settings. We're going to go back into factory settings where we just were. We're going to hit original car agreement. You'll hit reversal, previous, and next. Reversal volume will do the same thing. If you want up to be less music or lower volume and then down to be increased volume, you would hit that. But since our reversal of previous and next were messed up, we just turn that on, and then up is next track, down is previous track. So at this point, everything should be working well in terms of your steering wheel controls, and now it's time to do your OEM reverse camera. So if you want your OEM reverse camera to work, you're going to need to splice in pin 31 and pin 32 on your OEM harness. And this clip right here will show you exactly what I did. For the head unit, if you want to run your OEM reverse wiring, this is pin out number 31 and 32. 31 is the positive, 32 is the negative, and then I just tapped in with an RCA splice. So just make sure that you know that this will not be as high quality as the other picture cameras. The picture quality is terrible. However, your OEM lines that move left and right when you turn the wheel will be retained if you do it this way. So these are just some quick splices and an RCA. So again, pin out 31 is positive, pin out 32 is negative. It's dark brown and green and dark brown and orange, respectively. So once you have good connections made and everything spliced in, when you go in reverse, your OEM backup camera will appear. You'll also be able to change some of the lighting settings. If you want to make it brighter, you can do that. Darker, you can do that. Saturation, and then contrast. So tons of options here. The quality is not the best, I will tell you right now. But can I completely see my bumper, and can I tell what's around me? And do I have the ability to make setting changes? I do. And since we did that firmware update, it is not beeping at me when I'm in reverse. So that is the reason for doing the first CAN box upgrade where we plug into the USB, is to avoid having that beeping. So at this point, we have working steering wheel controls, we have working OEM reverse backup camera, and I didn't show this, but the lines do move as you move the steering wheel control. So you can see me turning the wheel here and the line is moving. That will all still function perfectly. The only thing you're sacrificing is quality. The rest of these settings, you'll just have to take time and go through yourself to see what setting changes that you're going to want to make. There's a ton of different stuff that's in here, including like default boot volume, whatever you want it to originally be at when it turns on. Your steering wheel settings here, where you want to program them to different stuff, will not work. So don't even waste your time here. If you have the OEM steering wheel control settings, it'll be volume and track. This center button will mute audio when you click it. And then the left, the previous and next track one, will change channels from radio to CarPlay to etc. Okay, so everything is working now. You can go ahead and link up your CarLink 2.0 to your phone, and that's going to activate your Apple CarPlay. Before we do that, I'll just show you around what other options we have. This will explain all the different things inside of here for you if you're confused on what it does. You're going to have a ton of different things to learn about. You can learn about the radio or settings or files. In your apps, you're going to have all the different applications that come in here. You'll have your equalizer settings, which whoa, what the heck happened there? Which every time you change something, it doesn't save. So you need to hit the off and on. That's the only way I've noticed to save it. So if you want your low hertz high or something like that, then hit off. So it says close DSP, then hit on again. So just a FYI. But you'll have your equalizer settings here, effect. I don't have no idea what surround does, but I've had it on. You'll have your bass settings. This makes it sound absolutely terrible. I have upgraded speakers in here. This just don't do it. The ASP stuff right here, this does most of the work, as well as the equalizer tuning. This head unit does not sound bad, but it does not sound good by any means. Your low frequencies sound terrible, but your highs and mids sound pretty good. I'm also not an expert in this stuff. I just made a wave and it sounds great. So we're going to leave it at that. You're going to also have your field adjustment if you want to move it forward or back. So you can do that. You're going to have YouTube. If you want that, you can download Netflix on here. You can download Torque Pro. It's an Android head unit. It can do all these different things if you want it to. Only other thing that we're going to talk about is Apple CarPlay. But before that, I want to answer questions that I'm going to get. Is it laggy? Is it responsive? Yeah, it works pretty well. This is the second cheapest option, and I have no complaints. When you are on wireless CarPlay, it is slower than on wired CarPlay when you're plugged in to the USB here. It is not by means any or so slow that you just want to, throw it out the car. But it's not the fastest thing ever. It was come on, $140. It will work, I promise, just fine. If you want it to be faster, plug in your cable, wire it in. If you don't care about that, it will work just fine, wireless. The good thing is every time you have your CarLink 2.0 turned on and it's connected to the truck, when you turn it off and you turn it back on, it'll go straight to the same place and then automatically connect wirelessly. So your wireless CarPlay, as long as you leave it in this setting, will always keep connecting, which is a great thing because you don't need to click anything. You won't need to come in here and then hit this. It'll just automatically connect, if that makes sense. So if you leave it in CarPlay, it'll always work and connect to that first thing when you start the truck. So here we have the Apple CarPlay, and I'm recording and wireless at the same time. So I'm showing you the worst situation that it could be. And in terms of the tech, it will lag recording wireless CarPlay. It's not going to be the fastest thing ever. However, it's still working. Wired CarPlay, absolutely no lag, works like a dream. Wireless CarPlay itself, not recording, a little slower than this. Way faster than this, but a little slower than wired CarPlay. Does it bug me? No. I hate laggy tech. I think it's the worst thing ever. Even with 2 gigabytes of RAM on this thing, I can run maps and Spotify all day long and it works fantastic, wired or wirelessly. However, wired will not charge well, so that's the reason I only use wireless CarPlay. And again, as I said, every time, even if we shut off the truck, when we come back, the first thing that it's going to do is hook up my phone to this. And if I take it out, give it a second, let it kind of restart, put my phone back, put my key back, if I can get it in the hole, turn it back on. First thing it does is connect to my phone to wireless CarPlay. So it's super fast and good to go. Last thing I wanted to touch on is the screen protector that is on this screen. It originally comes shipped with a screen protector to protect it while you're installing it, but after you get it all installed, I recommend putting a screen protector on. Link is in the description for it. The reason why I recommend buying it is because if you use polarized sunglasses like I have here, these are prescription polarized, you will not be able to read your screen. So you'll be driving and you'll look over and you will not see anything on your screen. You'll have to lower your glasses to see. But with the screen protector on, the polarization effect or whatever it is doesn't work from the LCD screen and you can see just fine. So as you can see here, highly recommend getting a screen protector for the screen if you use polarized sunglasses and to protect it in general. That is going to be it for this head unit. To install it is really not that difficult. 2 Phillips heads, you need to pull out right here, pull the whole trim piece out, and then get this one pushed up. You'll remove screws all along the back and then remove the factory trim piece, and then this one will all mate together. Make sure that when you have the brackets, you install them to the back of the head unit and then clip everything together onto this main piece. So that way the head unit doesn't fall out when you're off-roading or driving anywhere. Make sure it's all bolted in, secure. The screen protector is worth the money because you can see with polarized sunglasses, and I highly recommend it. I started on one side when installing it and pushed all the bubbles out to another side and then lift the ends and push the bubbles out as I was going. And even after it was fully installed, I had a couple bubbles that I pushed out. Super easy to install, no problems there. Overall, $146, wired, wireless CarPlay, OEM steering wheel controls, and my OEM backup camera is mated to work with this. All the links are in the description to purchase this. Please give it a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you want, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Keep on camping and take care.